Welcome to day 28 of the 28-day photo challenge. Now this is personally my favorite, and this is going to be guerrilla photography. Now we're going to be using many of the skills that we have already previously learned, and we're just going to go out there with only the camera, nothing else, and we're just going to try and get as many good shots as we possibly can without a plan. It's just going to be you and me, and we're just going to be capturing the world as we see it with all of the skills that we've previously learned throughout the month.
With guerrilla photography, the whole objective is to be quick. Why it gets the name guerrilla, like guerrilla warfare, not like gorilla, like a primate. And the objective is basically you have to act quick. You're trying to capture things without any kind of preparation, without a warning. Now, ideally, this would be a good situation to take pictures of cars or like some kind of event or something where there's lots of stuff moving. But to make it a little bit easier to understand, I'm going to be shooting out here where there's nothing that's moving. But I just want to kind of explain some of the steps that you can do. So the first one here is I'm going to be shooting aperture priority. Now, the reason for this is because it's now going to automatically adjust the shutter speed to wherever I'm shooting at whatever I'm shooting. But I can lock the ISO at 100 and the aperture at 2.8. So now I manually have the two settings that I want to keep, so that way the sensor is not being overloaded at all, which will give clearer photos, like less grain, less noise, and then f2.8 just for bokeh and more light to be let in. Now specifically stuff like this, it's going to be kind of hard to explain because I've been doing it this entire series pretty much, because that's just how I shoot. I really like guerrilla photography, where you just take a camera, that's it, and you're just running out there and you're just doing whatever's there. So let's start by taking a picture of this thing right here. Now normally you could like come over and you could line everything up and you could start trying to figure out your shoot. Or you could just run up, you quickly just snap a picture. Done. We just come over here to these trees. Done. Like pretty much every shot that you take, you just want it to be really quick. You don't want to think about it too much. You don't want to line stuff up. So it's taking all of the previous skills throughout this entire series and just trying to think of something quick that you could do with them and then just capture it all at once. So right now we have kind of the sunset sort of starting in the background. We have a lot of negative space because it's a fairly clear sky with like some scattered clouds, reflection on the truck, but we can just come in, snap a picture, and we're done. In my head, I'm going through all of these different elements on what I could be shooting. When you're going and doing guerrilla photography, that's essentially it, is you want to have all of this as muscle memory. You want to have the previous skills ready to go. So right here, we can just take a picture of Ram 2500, line it up with the center of the rule of third lines. We have a reflection going across it, different contrast between the dirt and the black paint. After editing this, I can bring down the highlights to make more of like the beginning sunset to start reflect off of the paint, so it's going to make everything a lot more visible. And just naturally, in my head, that's essentially what's going on for every single shot that I'm taking. We're just quickly going in and we're just taking a shot. So right here, it says the Works logo on the wheel, but that one lug nut is covering the X. So I want to come down, so that way I'm getting the entire logo in the frame. However, the shutter speed is at 1/10 of a second, and that's going to be too slow. So this is where the guerrilla part comes in, like, you know, fight or flight, survival. I'm just going to hit the ISO button. I'm going to crank that up to about 400, and then I can come down here and then just take the shot. All of this is stuff that you want, again, muscle memory. You want it to be ready to go to just quickly take a shot as soon as you see it. So you really want to be familiar with your camera, where all of the buttons are, how to adjust everything very quickly. Like right here through the trees, you can see that the sun is just starting to set. So I can take a shot there, and now in post, I can go with the overlays and I can add like a warm bloom to that, so that way the sunset is emphasized. Right here we have a little bench, so I'm going to come down so that way I have a lot of bokeh in the foreground, and that's going to add more depth of field to this. Just quickly looking, shutter speed is too high. Hit the ISO, bring that back down to 100. Keep that bench in the lower left rule of thirds, keeping the horizon perfectly straight up and down, and we're just going to take a shot. Done. Now we can do more of like a landscape aspect and take a picture of the mountain in the background. And we can line that up with the lower rule of thirds line, keeping the mountain centered. Done. Oh my god, it's absolutely freezing out here. We got the little walkway. Done. You gotta be quick. You gotta try and get the shot as fast as possible. Like, it's all just about being really quick. That tower over there looks really cool, so we're just gonna wait until we're completely centered, make sure we have that in the shot, and snap a photo. Done. Now we have the sunset in the background with that tower. That looks pretty cool. That thing over there looks really neat. That like super light blue building in the background. So let's just come down here, get some bokeh on the snowbank, and take a shot. Done. So it's all literally just about being quick. Stand in the back of the truck here, get a different perspective through the tree at the sunset. Done. So it's all just about being quick. It's muscle memory, it's knowing your camera. It's taking all of the previously learned skills and just bundling them all up into one package. You remember everything to look for. Different angles, different layouts, textures, contrast, how to utilize lighting, angles, keeping horizons straight. It's just kind of like a union of every single skill throughout this entire series, all put into one. That's why I wanted to have like all of the skills as beginner level stuff, because once you start getting into guerrilla photography, these are the things that you're going to be using every single time. So that's it for the 28-day photo challenge. It's finally done. This has taken an immense amount of work to do these daily uploads, and I am just honestly glad that it's over and I can get back to my normal chaotic life of already having too many things to do. So I hope you found something useful in this video. Like it if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, or don't do any of it. I'm not telling you what to do.